Quite as much air. It's round 4 of the World Series Sprint Cars from Speedway City.
Welcome to our coverage, race fans. We find ourselves at sunny Virginia in South Australia for Speedway City's round 4 of the $500,000 World Series Sprint Cars. On the pole is Dennis Burford alongside fellow South Aussie Brett Squires. We're underway into turn 1 and 2 at Speedway City, regarded by many as one of the finest purpose-built speedway venues in the country. Brett Squires is your race leader. The South Aussie leads the Victorian in a Tasmanian car. That is the Spies Hecker. Number 26, Robin Dawkins owned Brett Lacey driven car. There is Terry Bracken, one of the many Queenslanders on the tour this year. Brooke Tatnall picks himself up into third. This is a track that he has always done particularly well at. And there is Lacey, former Aussie champ, who's raced a lot around this circuit himself. Here comes Tatnall. Has a look on the inside. Lacey, well, he's in a difficult position here because he's trying to, get shuffled out the back. Well, he was trying to attack the tail of Squires and at the same time defend Brooke Tatnall, and Brooke got him in an instant. Now here comes the Shell Helix, number 8, Schnee of Brooke Tatnall. See Tatnall pitch it in late then and try and cut back low across the corner. Here is Burford, Bracken and Skip Jackson, defending World Series Sprint Cars champ. Look at Bracken attaching himself to the tail of Burford. Oh, the knockback principle. Oh, how did Bracken avoid damage there? I don't know. Yellow's come out. The knockback principle applying there. And Squires bringing him back around under the yellow. Bracken requiring a restart. Will have to go to the tail. Still very sunny here, as you can see, early in the night. And Bracken in the Reeve Cruck owned Titan Garages and Doors, number 36, Maxim. Squires in the Kim Davis tyres, number 17. The Bill Barrows look-alike car, really. From a distance, you'd swear it was Barge and Bill Barrows running around this track. The Williams used truck sponsorship has something to do with that. Tatnall dives in low under Squires. Here we go, pressure time for South Aussie Brett Squires. Well, Tatnall had a good look on the inside, but didn't lay a wheel on the race leader. Back onto the main straight, Joel Knott. Talented youngster having a fairly rough shot in the Asia Motors, number 44, Gambler. Brooke once again diving in low. Squires is doing a great job to hold Tatnall out here. World-class racing. No one laying a wheel on anybody at the moment. Here comes Lacey. Well, you can see how tight you have to be here. Can't afford to make a mistake. His top 3 cars, and you can throw a bikini strap over all of them. Back onto the main chute. There is Burford, just leading Joel Knott and Skip Jackson. Tatnall looks to the inside now. He should have the room to run in. Yes, he does. Gently moves in underneath in turn number 3. Squires back to second now. And Brooke Tatnall blasting away. Look at the ground he's opened up there. Lacey diving in underneath Squires. The track is a little bit slicker than it usually is at Speedway City. It can get quite hooky. And look at Brooke Tatnall. He's opened up a length of the main straight and then some over Brett Squires. Brett Lacey still in the second spot, and that's the way they're going to finish. Sanssouci, New South Wales driver Brooke Tatnall sweeps to victory in heat number 1. Back then to Squires, Lacey, Burford, Knott, Shirley, Jackson, and it would be Terry Bracken at the tail.
More World Series a little bit later on the show, but right now here on...
And a good lineup of cars. If you came here looking for an easy heat, you certainly came to the wrong place. West Aussie Ryan Farrell is in the field. South Aussie Chaz Calandro. There are 2 Castrol cars. I'll clear that up for you now. Chaz Calandro in the 33 and Gary Rush in the number 2 Castrol Maxim. Peter Smith is also out there. The collar type labels. Number 8 car. Good lineup of talent. Mark Gilbert is there in the Freightmaster. Number 5. A lot of local cars, as you would expect. Into turn 1 and 2. Farrell looks to thread the needle right through the middle. Puts himself up into second in the PMFM 92.9 car. Matchgoss is your race leader, however, as they come out of turn number 4. Onto the main straight, Speedway City hosting round number 4. World Series Sprint Cars. Mark Gilbert, the man who turns his hand between running sprint cars occasionally and promoting as well. Running in the 3rd spot just at the moment in the Freightmaster number 5. Onto the main straight, Matchgoss doing a good job. Ryan Farrell wearing him like a glove. There is Mark Reuter and Chaz Calandro. Farrell looks to dive in on the bottom. A lot of pressure from Gilbert on Farrell. Well, the same situation, really, that Brett Lacey and Brooke Tatnall found themselves in, where they're trying to attack and at the same time defend. Whoa! Peter Smith didn't exactly knock on the fly-wire door before he opened it. And Gary Rush, ever the opportunist, dives through on the inside, and the number 2, Castrol Maxim. There is Farrell. The West Aussie running back in second spot, having a pretty good run of late. Rejoining the Kendrick team for the second time in about 4 years. And he seems to be settling in pretty well. Well, Rush moves Smith up track just a little, but Smith able to hold his ground. Good line from him, and Matchcost doing a nice job out in front at the moment. The Victoria number 79 has got the car set pretty tight. You'll see the way it comes out of the turns. Here is Calandro, Gilbert, and Mark Reuter, who's struggling just a little. That is the competitive nature of World Series racing. If you qualify well, you go to the back in your heat racing, and it can be quite often very tough to come forward. Matchcock still doing the job. Back in the second spot, Farrell. Well, his car is very tight under brakes. Smith very nearly got him. Rush sits in the 4th spot. You can see still very early in the afternoon or the evening because still quite a bit of sunlight. Rush still trying to work over Peter Smith and the collar type labels. Highway in, number 8. Good shot there as Rushy tries the move underneath in turn number 3. Gets him this time. No, he doesn't. Well, great drive from Smith. Showing a lot of resolve. Oh, bit too tight, getting into the corner. Car pushed out to the wall. Here comes Rushy. Oh, what a move from Rush then. He couldn't have fitted a MasterCard between the front of Rush's car and the rear of Farrell's. Checkered flag is out. Matchcoss. Great drive to win heat number 2.
Well, the moon's starting to come out. That means that we're going to see some header flames leaping from these plastic fantastic.
One of the likeable veterans of sprint car racing in South Australia, Wayne Archie Bunker, starts on the pole in car number 2. Good-looking lineup of cars we've got here too. Jared Bolt in the 25 car, Mike Van Bremen in the 6, Anthony Lambert in the Club Crocodile, number 77 from Queensland. And they worked their way into 1 and 2. The 92 car being driven this evening by Ron Cricky, as a matter of fact. Normally the car occupied by Mark Wells from Western Australia. This time the 2-time Aussie champ, Ron Cricky, the Bunbury Bullet, back behind the wheel of the Kendrick team car. Out of turn number 2, Bolt just narrowly defending Mike Van Bremen, the youngster from Victoria. Ooh, gets a bit of a push coming out of the turns. Track slicking off just a little. And Archie Bunker, hasn't he done some laps around this place? Out of turn number 2, Ron Cricky picking up the left front wheel. Lambert just up ahead of him. The young man who used to be a motorcycle stuntman, as a matter of fact. The guy in the blue car, the Wagga Mobile Cranes, Anderson, 37. He always does well around this place. That's David Anderson, the danger man of sprint car racing from Albury, looking to go underneath Ron Cricky as they come out of 4. Van Bremen very high on the track. And look at Wayne Bunker just tearing away in the WRB number 2 car. Very settled behind the wheel. A load of experience. And if we had $1 for every lap this guy turned around Speedway City, we'd all be very wealthy. Anderson, a live wire of sprint car racing, dives in underneath Cricky. Oh, not a lot of room there. Cricky forced to reassess his options. And look at Anderson coming forward on the outside of Lambert. Big move out of 4th. That is a world-class pass. Out of turn number 2, David Anderson, the Wagga Mobile Cranes 37 car, going forward. Just up ahead. Still a good battle looming for second spot because Bunker has driven away. Look how forward he's got the main wing set. It is way forward. He's got plenty of down angle. The car is getting into the corners very nicely. Bolt and Van Bremen having a great battle for the second spot. Back into 4th position is Anderson, who's running a lot higher on the track than anybody else. Van Bremen and Bolt are running down on the low part of the track. And you'll see Anderson figure very prominently in a minute. Look at him right on their tails now. Back to Lambert. Ron Cricky back in the 92 PM/FM car. And here comes Bunker, stomping out of turn number 4 at his beloved Speedway City. Checkered flag is out. Back in the second spot will be Bolt, back to Van Bremen and Anderson. Okay, set for a start now. Mike Hanlon, Northern Territory 75, starts alongside Dennis Burford, a South Aussie who took a wild ride at Bunbury for round 3. You might recall our coverage of that. Being set for a start, Ryan Farrell starts out at 3. Brooke Tatnell from 4. From 5, it's Peter Smith. Still very light conditions, isn't it? Here is the Lightning number 9 alongside the 75 of Hanlon. We're set for a start, Farrell and Tatnell. Terry Bracken is also out there in the Titan Garages, number 36. Rush, oh, Farrell gets loose. Hits up the track, Rush. Was he lucky? I think not. cat-like reflexes that Gary Rush has as a true veteran of the sport saved that situation from being very nasty. Can't afford to drop a heat in World Series sprint car racing. It costs you dearly come main event time, if you in fact even get there. Smith alongside Tatnall on the second row. Rush picks the left front tyre up. We're away. Tatnall goes to the outside, making it stick very nicely. Bracken decides that's not a bad plan of attack. 3 wide into turn 3. Oh, look at this. Terry Bracken. Well, courage rewards him with a big result. Goes up into a top 3. In fact, making that a top 2. Well, he saw what Brooke Tatnall was doing. I guess he was more or less committed to it. He went after it. And wow, to the victor, the spoils. He's up in second spot, but I bet it caught everybody's attention, including his. A couple of deep breaths mightn't have been that inappropriate. Here comes Rush. Ooh, just a touch of wheels there going into 3. Skip Jackson dives in underneath. Peter Smith gets a push, moves up track. Rush hounding him on the outside. Skip Jackson on the inside. Spare a thought for Dennis Burford. That could not be fun. He is busy at the moment behind the wheel of the 9 car. Rush fading back just a little. Jackson still peppering away on his left rear. No room there. Dennis Burford doing a nice job. Brooke Tatnall, your race leader. Hasn't he looked dominant so far? Already winning his first heat, now a win in his second. Jackson still unable to get past. Burford doing a great job, just sitting in the fast part of the track, pinching the corners off a little, and Skip's got no room to run. No chance of making up the momentum, but look at Skip. Persistence. Will it pay off on this instance? No, still Burford holds him out. The South Aussie doing a great job. Brooke Tatnall onto the main straight. Bracken running him down a little here. Big drive from the Queenslander. Gets up a little high, way above the cushion. You can see the ground that he dropped off then. Now Jackson has managed to get Burford on the outside. Well, you got to try something different. And Brooke has just got this car set on rails. Minor adjustments to the wheel. If you look carefully at a driver's left arm in sprint car racing, see if it's busy. If he's thrashing away at the wheel, the car is fast, perhaps not set nice. And Brooke Tatnall, you can see that minor adjustments to the wheel. Look at his left arm, doing very little work indeed. And it's been an easy ride for Brooke Tatnall and a great drive. He wraps up his second heat race, win of the night. Bracken in second, long way back to third to Peter Smith, back to Skip Jackson and Gary Rush.
We'll stay tuned on Speed Week for plenty more World Series action coming up in further weeks as we make our way through the rounds. Some spectacular stuff.